Welcome to this explainer. Let's dive right in, because we are literally looking at a tectonic shift in how we acquire knowledge. Right now, artificial intelligence is actively dismantling the traditional college experience as we know it. And we aren't just talking about a shiny new software tool in the classroom. No, this is a complete reimagining of what it means to be a student, a researcher, and really a professional in today's world.
Which brings us to a massive question that's probably on a lot of minds. Is the traditional college major dead? It hooks right into that underlying anxiety so many students and parents are feeling right now. I mean, when the job market is shifting at breakneck speed, how do you choose a path that won't be totally obsolete by the time you graduate? Well, to answer that, we're unpacking some eye-opening insights from an interview on Bloomberg Television about completely overhauling how massive educational institutions operate.
Section 1. The outdated industrial model.
So Michael Crow leads Arizona State University. Now, this is a massive institution. We're talking 120,000 degree-seeking students and 700,000 other digital learners. And he realized that our traditional industrial way of learning was just too slow. It was too incremental and way too regimented. Now, contrast that with AI-enhanced learning, which just completely shatters that old model. The new standard is hyper-speed, broad, and deeply personalized to the individual learner. Honestly, the old way was simply too rigid for the world we actually live in today.
And this brings us to an immediate challenge institutions are facing right now. Crow shared this wild story about a business school test. Someone gave it to an AI system, and the AI got everything right, instantly. Now, your initial reaction might be panic, right? But the reality is, the problem isn't the AI. If a machine can ace it instantly, the test is just too easy. It's too simple. AI is actually forcing institutions to dramatically up their game, enhance the complexity of their curriculum, and expect vastly more from their students.
Section 2. Accelerating research and learning.
To really understand this disruption, we've got to demystify what this technology actually is. Crow defines AI very specifically. He calls it a massive hyperspeed calculator and a walking, talking reference library containing all digitized information. It's a tool where you ask a question about a vast ocean of data and it retrieves the most probable answer. We have literally never had egalitarian access to knowledge at this scale in the entire history of our species.
And to see how this translates into real-world impact, just consider the number 14. In a recent study by ASU faculty, 14 is the unbelievable number of days it took to complete the work equivalent to a full dissertation in genetics using advanced AI. Just 14 days.
And because of that terrifyingly fast timeline, we get to 20. The PhD student of the future isn't just going to do one dissertation over 4 or 5 years. They'll be able to complete the equivalent of 20 PhDs in the time it used to take to do just one. Let that sink in for a second.
So let's ground those massive numbers in some real-world stakes. What actually happens when human discovery speeds up by a factor of 20? Well, it means AI supercharges our ability to solve problems that were previously thought to be unsolvable or computationally limited. We're talking about accelerating cures for cancer. We're looking at analytical tools that could restore human sight. We're talking about fast-tracking electromagnetic treatments for Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases. This is the sheer unbelievable power of that hyperspeed calculator at work.
Section 3. Questions over memorized answers. There's a quote from Michael Crow that absolutely hits the nail on the head. He says, "It's all about the questions that you're asking, it's not about the answers." For generations, education was all about retrieving memorized answers, right? But if a machine can instantly give you the most probable answer to any query, a student's actual, tangible value now lies entirely in their ability to formulate complex, nuanced questions.
And you know, this completely redefines the concept of cheating. Think about it. If you're trying to answer a complex question and you use AI as a reference library, kind of like using a massive encyclopedia, that's totally legitimate. But if you use AI to just spit out the final analytical response that's supposed to demonstrate your unique ability to think, well, that's cheating. The boundary has shifted. You can access the tool for sure, but your unique brain still has to be the engine doing the actual analytical heavy lifting.
Section 4. What AI cannot teach. So if a machine can write code, analyze genetics, and pass business tests instantly, what exactly is left for us humans? Well, we call it the unteachable human core. Remember, an AI is just an advanced calculator. It cannot teach you to be innovative. It can't teach you creativity. It definitely cannot walk you through the messy, deeply human discovery process. It cannot teach you grit, and it absolutely has no lived values or personal experiences to draw from. These are deeply human traits that a machine fundamentally just cannot replicate.
The crucial takeaway here is that AI is a powerful analytical springboard to enhance our mental capabilities. It's not a crutch to replace them. Crow uses a really great analogy for this. AI might be able to process data and think around corners that you can't see, but you know what else can sense things around a corner? A dog. But a dog still needs a human to guide it, direct it, and give the journey purpose. AI is the exact same way. It relies entirely on human direction to function as that springboard.
Let's put this human element into perspective with a great example. ASU is actually using advanced AI-enhanced robots to help people who initially aren't qualified to get into college. The AI steps in to help them catch up and get qualified. But here is the really incredible part. Once those students get qualified, they've developed so much grit and determination along the way that they end up outperforming the traditional students who just walked right in from high school. It completely levels the playing field, and it proves that human grit, not just raw processing power, ultimately decides who succeeds.
Section 5. Building the Master Learner. So let's define this absolutely crucial concept. A master learner is a universal learner. They're someone capable of learning anything, adjusting to anything, and adapting to anything. Look, when we have no idea what jobs will even exist in 20, 30, or 40 years, the only true way to prepare someone is to equip them with immense, unbreakable adaptability.
So how does a modern university actually build this kind of resilience? Well, first, you ground the student in the absolute basics: American history, economics, the role of democracy, math, and science. Second, you let them choose a completely unique learning path that genuinely makes them smile while they work. And third, and this is the most important one, they learn how to learn. They move away from rote memorization and step fully into pure adaptability. And we're already seeing savvy students reacting to AI in real time. Just look at the trends coming out of ASU right now. We're actually seeing a slightly downward trend in traditional computer science. Why? Well, because AI can code. But look at what's trending upward. Double and triple majoring is up. Moving into complex multi-layered fields like analytics and supply chain is up. Students are actively moving away from single tracks and fiercely diversifying their knowledge bases so they can stay competitive.
And this shift is creating some surprisingly powerful cross-disciplinary combinations. Crow mentioned a student who is double majoring in opera and physics. I mean, that is just how that specific student learns best. Or think about English majors who decide to take free coding classes on the side. They have that broad humanistic perspective, but they also have the technical chops to direct the AI. Following diverse passions actually builds the most resilient, future-proof graduates out there.
Which brings us to a really powerful point, speaking directly to any worried parents out there who just want their kids to pick a safe major like accounting. Crow says if they take a fixed thing in a fixed way, in a fixed pathway, they could find themselves in an alley and no way out. Forcing a student into a rigid, highly specialized field that an AI can easily replicate is literally the riskiest move possible right now. Safety doesn't lie in a specific major anymore. It lies entirely in becoming a master learner. And that wraps up our explainer. I want to leave you with this provocative thought to chew on. In a world with all the answers, are you learning how to ask the right questions? The hyperspeed calculator is already here. The reference library is wide open. The true challenge now is embracing the journey to become a master learner yourself. Thanks for joining me to explore this fascinating shift. I challenge you to look at your own learning path today and ask yourself, how are you adapting?